Hello everybody, it's me, the Hero Teacher, and I welcome you all on my channel. Here I am starting a fantastic series of videos on IELTS speaking questions. And these questions are actual exam questions. And in these videos, I'm going to help you how to answer these questions, what ideas would be the best to get the highest score possible. I'd like to remind you that I am making 3 series of videos, one for part 1 questions only, one for part 2 questions only, and one for part 3 questions only. And these series are not limited or finite. They are actually infinite, which means as the questions are renewed by the official IELTS bodies, I am also going to shoot contemporary videos to help you understand the ideas and the questions that are possibly going to be in your speaking exam. Well, this series is about part 1 questions only, and we are starting with actual exam questions that are likely to appear between September 2025 and April 2026. Currently, at the time of recording this video, it is 29th of December, which means these questions are actual for January, February, March, and April 2026. If you are planning to take your IELTS speaking exam within this period, these questions are very likely to appear in part 1 of your IELTS speaking test. Well, a quick reference to the source of these questions. I'm actually using an application called IELTS Assistant, and this application has been quite solid for the years. I'm also recommending this application to my students to prepare for the IELTS speaking test. And I'm also relying on my own data, which I gathered from my students. So they take the IELTS exam frequently, and I keep asking them about the topics of speaking questions that they had to answer during their exam. So the questions are actual exam questions, and I'm sure that you will benefit from these videos a lot. Okay, now we are going to start with art. We've got 4 questions about art in part 1. The first one is about, do you like modern or traditional art? Well, if I were the person to answer this question, and I know that I am not interested in art, I wouldn't try to sound smart. Remember, if you try to sound smart, and by that I mean if you try to look intelligent, a person that you actually are not, you are going to fail or score relatively low. What you have to do is to be yourself, be honest, and answer the question the way you feel. For example, do you like modern or traditional art? Well, I'm a person who is not interested in art. That's why I wouldn't tell that I'm interested in any of them. Probably traditional art would be more interesting because I know that as the time passes, unfortunately, people lose their taste and their talent in art. Something like that. So you see, I didn't try to say, well, yeah, I love modern art because of this. Why? I don't know about art. So I just tried to give my opinion in the best way possible, telling the examiner that I'm not an art person. The second question is, do you like art? And because you already have said to the examiner that you don't like art, it's going to be repetition. Probably the examiner is not going to ask you such a question. But even he or she does, you can easily say, as I have said before, I am not a person who is interested in art. And I know it may sound a little harsh, but I don't like art and I'm not interested in it at all. So you are being honest here. You're not trying to, again, provide an answer that does not feature how you feel or does not contain realistic you. The next question is, have you ever visited an art gallery? Well, this depends on you. By the way, the answers that I'm providing here, that I'm giving here, are just model answers and they are based on my character. So if you're interested in art, try to say the truth, try to tell the truth and let the examiner know you are interested in art. Fluency comes before your complex grammar and vocabulary. I have seen so many students focusing, concentrating on grammar and vocabulary so much that they actually forget that fluency is also a part of this grading system. So when the examiner grades your speaking, he or she takes your fluency into account as well. That's why when you try to use complex words or high-end words, advanced words, complex grammar, you may think more than necessary, and that will hurt your score. My recommendation is all about fluency first, then start adding some complexity to your language. Now, have you ever visited an art gallery? Again, we are being honest. Yes, I did visit an art gallery when I was at school, probably like 15, 20 years ago. I don't remember much about it, but I think we were taken to that gallery by our teacher, and we were shown a couple of pictures created by our own local artists. So, you see, again, I'm just telling the truth. I'm not lying. Lying can hurt your score a lot, and I don't recommend it. But no, if you've been to an art gallery several times, just say it. Describe the gallery, describe the feeling you had. Like, you see, when I talked about it, I just showed the feeling that I wasn't very happy, because I already had said that I'm not interested in art. And if the examiner keeps asking you questions about something that you don't like, you shouldn't change your position. Well, let's say friendship and you don't have friends. Why would you talk about friendship as if you really love friends in case you don't have any friends, right? So you have to be very honest, and this really works, and it kind of like gets your score higher. And final question about art: do you think it would be interesting for you to be an artist? And here, for this question, again, what you need to do is to think, yes, if you'd like to be an artist or not. If you'd like to be a painter, if you'd like to be an actor, if you'd like to be, like, would you be interested in it? And in my case, I would say, well, I have never imagined myself as an artist, but a few times in my life, I thought of being an actor because many people around me praised my acting skills. However, I never actually pursued a career in this, because I know that, unfortunately, in our country, it's not a successful way of making money. So again, you see, I answered the question. I said I would be interested in acting, but I've never done this. I've never pursued a career because of blah, blah, blah reasons, like financial reasons, etc., etc. Again, be yourself. Don't say, well, yeah, of course, I've always been interested in being an artist because it's been my dream. If you're positive about that, yes, you can say so. But if you're not, then let the examiner know what you actually think, because that's going to help the examiner understand that you are honest, you're not acting, and your fluency, because you're not lying, goes higher, which is amazing. Before moving on to the second topic of this video, I would really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe to this channel, because by this way, I reach out to more people and can help more and more students, candidates around the globe. I really appreciate your help. Thank you so much, and let's continue. Now, the second topic is about carrying things. Well, this is a little strange because I wouldn't say it's quite common, but you never know what topic the examiner is going to ask you. That's why it is great to be ready for everything. The first question is, what do you do if your item is heavy? What would I say for this question is, again, I would be honest. I would say, honestly speaking, I hate carrying heavy things, and I've always tried to avoid it. Obviously, back in the day when we didn't have a car, I used to do it because I didn't have any other choice. However, now, if something that I'm carrying, maybe a bag or a computer or whatever that I need to carry, is heavy, I call a taxi, because that's the best way of doing it, and I'm always happy with it. So again, here I just said what I felt. You may you may wonder like, your fluency is better. I can't speak as fast as this. I can't think as fast as this. It's not a problem. This video tries to show you the right way. So in these videos, I am just telling you the questions, and it goes down to you to practice as much as possible. You may not necessarily use all the vocabulary or grammar that I'm using here, but you get the idea of how to answer these questions. At least it feels good that you know what questions can be asked to you during the exam. So that's why, don't worry about it. Practice, practice, practice. The next question is, when you go out, what do you carry with you? Very personal question. It highly changes from person to person, but again, you have to be very clear and honest. In my case, I carry a small bag where I store my iPad, my copybook, maybe a book so that I can read it on the go, and a few tech items that can help me boost my productivity. Well, this is my go-to bag almost everywhere, except for very, very unique occasions such as wedding or family meetings, because I love carrying these items that make me more productive on a daily basis. So what I have done is this. I do actually have that small bag that I carry with me all the time, and I said the truth, and it gives me ideas spontaneously and simultaneously, so I don't have to think about, oh my god, right, what's in my bag, because I already know I carry it. The same goes for you. Whatever you carry, like, you just need to show the examiner that you're not afraid of the question. Well, because my answers here are completely spontaneous, they're not rehearsed answers, sometimes I may have a few gaps or like small gaps between my sentences, because sometimes I need to think about it. But generally, this sort of fluency will get you at least 8 in the exam. So score-wise, you don't have to worry about it, but I just want you to think about, like, write down some ideas that you can use to answer these questions. The next question here is, when you go to different places, do you carry different kinds of things? This is a sort of continuation of the previous question, because I already have told the examiner that I only carry my bag and it doesn't change that much. So I sort of repeat it to let the examiner know that I am telling the truth, because examiners may test whether or not you're lying by asking you similar questions in a row. So you need to be very aware of that. And the question, when you go to different places, do you carry different things, different kinds of things? No, as I have said before, I usually carry my bag where I store my daily items, such as the iPad, copybook, a few tech products, etc., etc. However, in case I'm invited to a wedding party, obviously I'm not going to carry that bag. I just carry my phone and that's it. So usually I'm with my bag, but in some unique cases, I don't carry it. All right. Again, I have told the truth, and I didn't kind of like flinch at the question. I didn't think too much. So fluency is about that. The examiner sees you are ready. First, we need to establish fluency, then we will add more vocabulary, complex grammar, because it doesn't happen overnight, and you need to be relaxed, confident. Finally, what's the difference between the things you carry in the evening and the morning? For me, there's no difference. And let me tell you something. Telling the truth in IELTS speaking is way better and more relaxing than trying to lie and look smart. Because every time you try to give a smart answer, you have to think about it. You need to make sure that it actually sounds smart. But when you tell the truth, your brain automatically produces that answer. And in this question, no, what I carry in the morning and in the evening is basically the same. I don't remember if I actually had to carry something different in the evenings, because I'm a person who usually works, and that magical bag that I've been talking about for the last 2 minutes is always with me, regardless of the time of the day. Again, I just said what's necessary. I didn't overcomplicate my answer by adding things that could take me off topic. So, in this video, what we have studied is questions regarding art and carrying things. These questions can appear between September 2025 and April 2026, and they actually do. What I suggest you to do as a home assignment is to write down as many ideas as possible for each question that we have rehearsed in this video and try to practice them. And you can also share your experience, share your ideas in the comment section below so that other students can learn from your comments. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.